The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by memories that refuse to die. I can't get away from a vision that brings intimate glimpses of intimate things. A voice in my heart like a tart singer sings. I wonder who's kissing her now. The house is haunted by the echo of your favorite song. The place is cluttered up with roses that have lived too long, much too long. The ceiling is white, but the shadows are black. A ghost in my heart says she'll never come back. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by memories that refuse to die. I can't get away from a vision that brings intimate glimpses of intimate things. A voice in my heart like a tart singer sings. I wonder who's kissing her now. The house is haunted by the echo of your favorite song. The place is cluttered up with roses that have lived too long, much too long.
Good evening and welcome to the Haunt Hour. with your host, Dan Doble, Susie Fleesick, and Troy Crivelone. Join us tonight as we talk about all things haunting and Halloween during the Haunt Hour.
Welcome all to another wonderful week of Haunt Hour. I'm Noble. I'm also being hooked along with the Dammit Troy Crivelone and Susie. Obviously, very different Troy Fleesick.
Right, because there's only one Troy that could put up with me, as we've figured out. It takes a special Troy.
There's also one Ashley that could put up with this, and she's hanging on by a thread.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like Ashley should just come on the show just to defend herself.
Right.
We don't have enough time.
You're right. That should be a special extended episode that, we pay money to watch her just
rail on Troy night. I'm down.
Roast you all. You know what? If you guys want to see roasting Troy,
you can have special guests on and everything and just come on and roast me. I'm down.
Oh my God. I think there's something there. I really do.
We can have a whole show.
I know.
And just have people drop in and roast them for like 5 minutes, and we'll just cheer them on.
And what I'll do is I will lower down my screen so I can't see who's coming in on the bottom down there, and then I'll just be completely oblivious and just.
Not only that, we're going to mute it so you can't even rebuttal.
How about if we don't have their picture, but we just have their voice, and then he has to guess who it is that is.
I think Christopher would be right up there first.
That I will watch.
I'm sure there's a lot of haunters out there that are excited to do this.
Right. I mean, Christopher could just start with the hotel that I picked when we filmed the awards show. That was bad.
Well, you're trying to save $1, I'm sure.
I saved many dollars but cost a lot in medical bills.
Did I ever tell you a story about how I decided to try and save $1 with my 15-year-old daughter in St. Louis?
Oh no! What'd you do?
Gosh. So this quick super side note. It's a funny story, but it's one that I will never ever forget, and my daughter will never forget. So my daughter's in club volleyball, and we travel all over the United States to play volleyball in all these other states. And I was late to the party in getting set up for the hotel where the team is. I'm like, well, screw it. I don't have to be part of that. We're going to go to a really nice hotel. We're going to get a premium spot. We're just going to drive in 10 minutes. I don't really care. If we have to Uber, we'll Uber. I don't care. We're just going to stay at a really nice place. I'm not going to stay at a really nice place and pay $400 a night when I can do it for $200 a night. Let's do it. So my wife's like, well, I've got all these Holiday Inn. It wasn't Holiday Inn. I don't remember what it was. It was a shithole. Anyway, so we get there, and it looked like, you remember the old Howard Johnson's where it had the point, and then it was like there was like a little area that was like one story where you walked in, like the old 80s hotels.
Yeah.
You walked in, and that's where the concierge was, if they had one.
I was gonna say,
if they had one, that's
a fancy word.
It's just one story, and then you go into the hotel, which is behind it. Well, that's we walked in. And mind you, we walked in because this was in St. Louis. We walked in at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. And I'm walking in. My daughter is wearing, spandex and a tight top because we're driving. And she's got her makeup on and whatever. And I'm walking in with one bag and a camera.
Oh.
Like, my
obviously underage.
My camera setup my professional setup that I take with me.
Tell me they called the police. Please say this ends with them.
Honestly, I didn't even think about it. So I walk up and I'm checking in. I'm like, oh my God. And Sydney's looking at me like, this place is disgusting. Like, just
a little more disgusting now.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine
for just a hour.
So
as you walk past the concierge.
I walk up and I check in, and the lady's like wearing like a Looney Tunes t-shirt. Like that's what I'm trying to like portray to you, that this is not a 5-star hotel.
That says so much.
It says it was a 4-star hotel online. There is no way. Somebody misbuttoned or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we get in there, and we got the premium penthouse suite or whatever it is. Again, not thinking about this with the camera and everything. And we get up there, and it was not a penthouse suite. It was a supposedly had a great view and a balcony. Well, the door, it was just a window that you couldn't open on a little balcony that was not meant for people to be on it. The window didn't close, like it was open still, and the corner was rotted away. And Sydney's looking at me like, "Oh my God, why are we in here?" When I opened the door jamb was like loose, like somebody kicked the door in like last week, you know. And
welcome to St. Louis.
There's a hole in the wall going into the bathroom, and Sydney's like, "This is disgusting, Dad." I'm like,
"Wait, was the carpet damp?"
Oh, nothing was clean. I mean,
there's no black light in that room.
We got in at like 12 o'clock. So to make a long story short, I sat down, Sydney sat down, and she drank a water that we brought out of the car. And I called the Ren Grand downtown, and I said, "What do you have?" And they said, "Well, we got this. I'm like, "I don't care what it is. I'll take it." I paid way too much, but I didn't care. We were in the same hotel as everybody else. The next morning, we got up at like 4 o'clock because we could check in early at 7. So I got up at 4. We packed everything up. We went to breakfast, and we checked right in right away. And I'll never, ever, ever do that again. Ever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like I thought I was going to make a great deal out of this. It was not a great deal. Don't ever read reviews and think that they're actually going to be honest, because it was a hot mess.
See, Christopher, my hotel in Nashville or Murfreesboro wasn't that bad.
You could hear like gangsters walking up and down the aisle. Like,
oh no, we did have that.
We did have that in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God. And like looking over at Sydney, and she's just wide awake, staring at the ceiling. Like,
well, you just said don't believe reviews.
We were fully clothed. We didn't change nothing. We didn't even use the bathroom. We just laid in bed, closed our eyes, opened it in like 15, 20 minutes. We were gone.
I'd have done the same thing. But you were just talking about reviews, and we were just having that conversation on Facebook with certain people about reviews. And there you go. That's a perfect example. You can't always trust reviews.
I never trust reviews, but I went off of reviews. So also a double-edged sword right there.
I look at them to see if there's a lot of bad ones. If there's a lot of bad ones, that's a good hint. But you know,
I'll be honest. I was at the fuck it. Let's just get a nice hotel. We have points. Let's do it. And it did not work out in my benefit.
So needless to say, you are no longer allowed to pick the hotel in the family.
Well, if we're going on a family vacation, no.
Haunter vacation, let's go there. I feel like that would be a fun night.
If it was just Sydney and I, Angie's not going. So I was like, okay, fine. That's fine. I'll pick it. I don't care. It'll be fine. My famous line in the house is, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And it was not fine, but it made it fine at the end of the day. So, but anyway. Don't
go on vacation with Dan. Got
it. So I have 2 topics. I'm taking 2 topics. I'm taking Troy's news, and I'm going to use it in mine. Susie, do you have any updates on the haunted house before I get into mine?
Yeah, because I know you're going to take this and just run with it. So I'm going to get mine's actually, if anybody has any ideas for me, because we hit a wall at the haunt, and not physically, but we've hit a wall because we actually won an award from Scare Factor last year for, I don't know, best scene, best something along those lines, with one of our scenes in our haunt where Margaret, who is our villain, it's the scene Margaret's in, and we won this great award, and we had her in this amazing spot in the haunt. We had her looking like she was in the corner of the classroom, kind of like a thing on the wall, if you can imagine, So we had her rigged up there. She actually had like a rock climbing harness type thing. It was attached to the wall, and she had a little tiny shelf to sit in. This is my daughter, so if anybody's watching and thinking I put regular people through torture that I employ, it's fine. It's my daughter. She's
it'll be fine.
She was 13 last year. It was fine. But she wants to do this. This isn't something that we forced her to do, just FYI. But she was in the corner of the room, and it was an amazing effect. And people were like, how's she up there? And oh my gosh, that was so amazing. And again, we won an award for it, and everything's great. Well, we want to do better than that. And we are just like, we don't know what to do. I would have loved to have bought that rig system at Transworld. That was something like $17,000 or $20,000 or something like that, but obviously can't afford that. We just need some kind of special effect. And if anybody has any ideas, the show that my computer kicked me out of, I ended up watching it with you guys at the end when you guys had, what's his name? that where you filmed the award show.
Oh, Nate. Yeah.
The one Nate was on. When he was showing us that pirate ship and he was like showing us like what he was building and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he said something about having an actor, because I caught this and I couldn't comment because again I was kicked out. He said something about having an actor. I don't know if he said on a bungee. We've played around with that kind of idea. I don't know if we'd be able to support her. I don't know if there's like the right beams that we could. I don't know. But we are at a standstill. If anybody has any wonderful ideas for us.
What about in the middle of the night, you go to the local park and you steal one of those zip line things that are on the big metal poles.
Yeah.
And you attach her to that and she swings down.
Take that. And trust me, if Micah were watching this, he would be like, that's exactly what I want to do.
See,
and
Susie.
There was a haunt in California, and I can't remember. I'll try to find it because they may have a way to do it that's not as expensive as 17,000, but they did. It was she was on the ceiling, and she walked along the ceiling, and then about 3/4 the way down, she dropped straight down on the people, and you're walking down this long corridor, and she comes at you, strobe lights, fog, she's coming at you and then drops right in front of you and then pulls back up. I have a feeling they were very close to Hollywood. So
yeah, I'm sure it was some kind of.
I've been to a haunted house and this was a really cool. I've never seen it. Well, I've been to it. Let me finish the story, Troy, before I mute your ass. All right. I've been to a haunted house where they took a barn door slide.
Okay.
They attached a swing to it, and the actor laid in it was actually 2 swings, and the actor laid in it and then crawled along the side of
was this in a red light district?
Nope.
It
was at Indiana's Scariest Haunted House.
Oh, okay.
So it was a really cool effect.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was comfortable.
Yeah, I'm sure not. She wasn't comfortable. When she had to pee, I mean, it was fun because we'd have to unhook her. Yeah.
It was fair, I bet, was amazing.
It was. I sent you a video actually in the group
Was that what
chat.
you sent me?
That's what I sent. It's 17 seconds long. It's not long, but yeah, it was an amazing. It's not the whole room. It's just her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what that was. See her.
What?
Got it.
Are you looking for it right now, Troy? I see you jumping online.
It's just the last one I sent, not the first one that I sent. Yeah, there it is.
Anyway, did you find it, Troy?
I did.
There we go.
All right.
Bigger. Fucking lords out of there. What the hell? What is that? That's not what it is. What are you doing?
That's
Troy?
YouTube. I don't know what you're doing.
Troy.
Why is that? What is? Oh, Rob. Sorry.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
here comes.
Troy is struggling. Oh, here we go.
There she is. Yeah, there's no volume, but you can imagine.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's my girl.
What if you just attach it? What if you just attach like a retractable thing so that she can jump down from it?
I would love that. Would that be like a bungee thing?
Well, yeah. Yes, Sean. Sean and I both went to Dark Hour in Texas, and they have a circular track that the actor runs around the room, and it's a giant room, and the actor just runs around like sideways on the wall.
That's awesome.
I know.
It's amazing. Did you actually see it in
Yes.
action?
Well, no. But believe me, you can see all of the footmarks on the wall.
Oh yeah.
That room was, I don't know if it still is, but last time I was there, that room was where all the witches' beds were.
No, it's not that now.
Okay, so
it's all torn apart.
It was where all the witches' beds were. So it was the whole theme is about the different witches in history and blah blah blah. And the guy that was in there, or the witch that was in there, would run across the top of it would run from the top of like the chifforobe along the wall to the next chifforobe, along the wall to the next.
Oh man,
it was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Nate says zip line, so just do that and call it good.
Yeah, I think we may. We'll look into it. I think it's been discussed, but again, I'm not the one that
right.
knows
You don't know. Just if it's anybody, your daughter's going to be the one that's going to have to test it first. So.
Yeah, for sure, she'll love it.
All right, Dan. We need to get to Andrew. What's your news?
I know. Okay, so did you pull up the video?
Oh,
Do we want to pull up the video, or do we just want me to talk about it? Because I really don't. You can pull it up while I talk about my other
Yes.
California news.
Yes.
All right. So I was scrolling through, and I haven't followed. And for those of you that don't know, the Bloodshed Brothers, Zach and Jeremy Ball from Temecula, California, are opening another haunted attraction. And that was my first news, and that was the news I found before I was scrolling down, and it says we have a haunt. And so here is where you guys can go to check this out. These guys, I follow Jeremy and Zach. They're twins that live in California that love Halloween, and they're like the pioneers of haunt vlogging, I guess. I mean, I've been watching them since I was probably in my mid-20s. So, and they're both married now, and they don't have kids yet, but they're both married, and they do this daily vlog, and they always talk about Halloween. Well, they got another haunt going, so if you guys want to check that out, just look up Bloodshed Brothers on YouTube. You'll find them, or Zach or Jeremy Ball. They're on Facebook too. But that was my first bit of news, so I'm gonna get that out of there. The next bit of news is I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the Ghostbusters Legends, or whatever they're calling it now, is just released their new trailer. And it has got so much good shit in it.
Oh my gosh!
For all of us old people, can you turn
that Alex Trebek?
Yeah, it was an ad.
Oh, I was like, oh my god, is he in this? Okay.
This is so freaking awesome. Did you make this bigger? Why is it not volume? You have to get the full experience.
Anyone can get an opportunity to start fresh. I just wish you'd get into some trouble. There's still time.
I got this too loud.
Here in Somerville anyway. We're completely broke, and our grandfather left us this creepy old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Father wasn't much of a homemaker. He could hardly keep.
Okay, you see that?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, wait, you gotta wait till the end. The end is like, oh my god.
You went with the station wagon?
It's the only one that had an engine.
Oh yeah.
What is happening here? Somehow, the town with no fault lines is shaking on a daily basis.
Paul Rudd.
I love Paul Rudd.
Maybe it's the apocalypse. Egon's here not here for a reason.
Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night?
Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Have you or any of your family ever
Yeah.
seen a ghost?
Oh my god. You guys hear that?
Something's coming.
The whole city.
All the old effects. It is. All right. Who brought the dog? Right here.
We're ready to believe you.
Listen.
We're closed.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Bill Murray's making his appearance.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You guys
That
have no
sounded
idea.
that sounded like the other guy.
Nope, that's Bill Murray. It's not Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, okay. It sounded like Dan Aykroyd.
That's Bill Murray.
Okay.
All right, you get Troy on. Troy will tell you exactly who it is. Not Troy. I'm married to another flea stick. Not damn it, Troy. The other Troy.
The other Troy.
How many Troys are there? Way
Wow.
too many Troys.
There are.
All right.
So that just dropped today, and I am super excited. There's so many nods to the original series or the original movie. I mean, they even brought back original characters. It wasn't Dan Aykroyd. I'm telling you, right, it's not Dan.
wait.
We're gonna just-
It was not Dan.
Everybody that's watching this, please write. It was Dan Aykroyd just to piss
Bill
Dan
Murray.
off.
No, fuck you all. And
Is
Troy,
that
Everybody
not Bill
do
Murray's
it.
voice?
it was not. It was Bill Murray.
How do we know? How can we find out
We'll find out when we watch the
when we
movie.
watch it?
This
Watch that part
Thanksgiving.
not be in it. You know how they do that shit.
Of course they're going to be in it.
I'd be fucking pissed.
No. That part wouldn't be in it, and then you
So,
can't argue.
so join us back after we resume in January, and we will find out if Dan was wrong or not.
Hopefully by that time nobody else has remembered.
Oh, I will. I am writing it down right now. All the things that Dan said that I have to verify later. All right.
Yeah, I just love that. I just love it. Anyway,
oh, wait. Yep. And another one.
It was not. It was not. It was Bill Murray. It's Bill Murray, and I'm sticking to it. Nobody else can comment. Bringing nothing up. Listen here, you motherfuckers.
Listen here. All right. So, anyways, on that topic,
yes,
I would like to introduce Dan Aykroyd, who works at Andrew Long's Haunt for HEP. And
it's me, Dan.
It's just you and Dan. You guys make a haunt together. Great.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So this is Andrew Long. He is he's from Florida, and he runs a haunted house in his yard and his house. And so we're gonna let him talk about his beginnings and what he runs, and we'll go from there.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. Well, like you said, I'm Andrew. Our name of our haunt is Haunt for HEP. And the reason for that name is, I guess this is the 4th year we're doing it, but 4 years ago we started raising money for the homeless empowerment program, and I'll talk about that a little later. But for the actual haunt, I've been doing it for now going on 7 years, and even before that, I had decorated for Halloween when I was really young, and that was just, you know, your Dollar Tree tombstones and cobwebs from the bag. And the reason I started with that was because my neighbor used to decorate for Halloween, and I was like, I can do that better. So I got some Dollar Tree tombstones and began doing that for a few years. But 7 years ago, I'd seen a haunt. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of it, Mansion of the Macabre. It was in Palm Harbor. Done by a guy. He's an orthodontist. His name is Paul Durea, and he did it for over 20 years, and he ended up selling it I think back in 2018. Might have been 2017 when he sold it, but like I said, he did it for over 20 years, so he had tons of stuff. And I had seen this, and my mind was like, oh my god, you could do so much more. So you could do better. Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to start building my own stuff. So I began building your good old tombstones and graveyard with the columns and the gates. And that's what we started with 7 years ago, and it is just kept on growing. When he sold his stuff.
So you were 12?
I was just going to say, did
12.
we even say he's night? Did anybody?
No. I wanted him to drop that little nugget that it was 7 years ago, and now I did the math. And yeah.
I did start when I was 12 and 13 building stuff. Yeah, but I've learned quite a bit along the way. I wouldn't say the stuff I built back then was by all means fantastic, but yeah, exactly. You learn stuff from everyone. You learn techniques and pick it up along the way and get better. But going back to Dr. Durea, Paul Durea, he sold all this stuff, and we actually got a couple things from him. One of it being a pneumatic casket, and it had one double acting cylinder that made it bounce up and down, run by a motion sensor and a programmable controller. And that got us into pneumatics. And that's what he did. He did mostly pneumatics. He had some scenery, but a lot of his stuff was these crazy, like the electric chairs, asylum walls with the door handle moving up and down, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get into pneumatics, and he helped us with it. He's kind of like our Halloween mentor. Yeah, and he helped us get into that stuff. And ever since then, I've been learning more about pneumatics, getting better. And we get a lot of our stuff from Fright Props, just like every other haunter. But all of the pneumatic stuff from Fright Props and some other just some mechanism builders and stuff, but a lot of the structures for the pneumatic stuff I build myself. But over the years, we're up to, I think, 6 pneumatic props now. Yeah, here's one of the videos, and I do videos of how I build these. Just starting last year, I wish I did videos before then, but I do have pictures of everything. So I may eventually put together some stuff, but I've been showing how I build all these pneumatic props.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that, I mean, because I've been watching you for a couple of years, and that's one of the biggest things that I love, and I know most of the other haunters in the industry love that part, is that even though you're making all this stuff, you're taking the time to make a how-to video, or at least progress videos, you know. And it's one thing to just build something awesome and go, look at this, I made this, but to then go and add something to the community like that at your age is showing the direction of the haunt industry. And I love that fact.
So I have a question for you, Andrew, just to stop you in the middle of your story here. The video that I'm watching.
Yes.
Did you come up with that? Did you design this, or did you pull this inspiration from somebody else? I mean, that is freaking brilliant to use a door hinge on there.
Right.
Well, so all the mechanisms and stuff I did design myself, but the idea for the swinging half torso zombie came from a prop that Paul Doria had, and I saw that, and I always just loved the look of just the entrails and guts just hanging out and swinging on ropes. And I think Scare Factory actually has a similar prop, and I'd seen that, but all the mechanism itself, I built it out of wood. If I could weld or had metal, I would build it out of metal, but maybe that's something I can eventually learn how to do. But yeah, the door hinge idea and all that is stuff that I'd come up with and figure out what works and what doesn't work.
So smart.
Yeah.
So smart. So smart.
But I like the fact that yours is made out of, I mean, maybe not so much this year out of wood, but in previous years, but because it gives it a different movement than with the steel and stuff. And I know this may sound weird, but with steel and everything, you're going to get a much, you know, a cleaner, a lesser sound type of thing. But with this obviously screams home haunter, which is what, you know, I, you know, love especially, but I love how it does give it a different sound. And it's a very interesting way that it moves and stuff like that. So it's, you know, like, you know, to me with steel, it's almost like you're going to work too hard to make it look so fluid. When with this, you're like, this looks creepy and unnatural, and I love that fact. So.
Yeah, I've actually gotten pretty good with the wood with making it fluid, and the next pneumatic prop that I just built is actually it actually turned out pretty fluid and looks pretty human-like. So I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
But I would say building it out of wood. Part of the reason why I'm doing these how-to build videos is for other people to build them. So if I do it all out of metal, then not everyone, including myself, can weld and build it out of metal. Yeah, but everyone can go to Home Depot, pick up some wood, some PVC, chicken wire, spray foam, great stuff, and watch the video and try building it themselves. And I put all the parts lists and everything that we order and get. So if anyone really wanted to go through and build a similar prop, they have this basis that they can go off of. And I've actually had someone, some of them in the comments, asking me about measurements and actually wanting to build something like this. So it's great that people get inspired by this stuff. So that's why I do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, you know, when I see things like this, it's, you know, as you know, the admin of a couple of groups and stuff like that, when I see things like this, I share them immediately, because it's like this, you know, like you said, this is something that anybody can do that doesn't have those specialized skills or have a welder even. I mean, you can know how to weld, but you may not have access to a welder all the time, where everybody has access to this stuff. So, you know, it shows how great the sharing part of this community is, and you're helping it right along.
Yeah, I love getting ideas from different pages, and I've watched so many just prop videos and looking at different props that they've made and getting ideas and thinking, oh, I should do something like that. And obviously this zombie prop is something that I've seen before, and I wanted to create my own version of it. But I have come up with some unique things, and the one I built this year, I dreamt about one night, but
awesome.
it kept me up all night, and I woke up the next day with a migraine thinking about it. But yeah,
is that the
that is the pneumatic angel,
the weeping angel?
This is the.
Are you serious?
Oh my god!
Is that not a person?
Nope. And that's what I was saying about the fluid motions. You can see my zombie guy in the back. But it turned out a lot better than I thought. Yeah, you skip to the end, you'll see the testing footage of it.
Holy crap. Man, that looks realistic already.
Yeah, I was very happy with how the painting came out for it, because I tried so hard to make, because I bought black fabric, and I wish I didn't go with black fabric because that was a pain in the ass to paint. I wish I got like white, but painting it actually worked better than I thought, because it really kind of turned out looking like a statue.
You know, I've seen so many people make this style of tombstone, the weeping angel, the you know, the ones just laying over it, but I don't think I've ever seen one move. So I'm just gonna quit. So I'm out. See you guys later.
I actually after thinking about this and coming up with it myself, I looked it up, and of course Scare Factory has already done something similar.
Well, I will tell you this, it's probably bad form, but yours is going to work for a bunch of years and not have to be fixed day 2. So I'm sorry. I don't care. You know, this is dude.
Well, Andrew's going to show you how to fix it, because he makes the whole video on how to make it. So if you made it, you know how to fix the damn thing.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it breaking on you.
So Andrew, you were saying earlier before we went on that you're in school right now. You're a poor college student. What do you have any aspirations to do anything on a professional level? I mean, you obviously have the skill. What are you going to school for? Do you have an idea? Is this just going to be a hobby for the rest of your life? Where do you see yourself in 6 years?
Well, in 6 years, I might still be in school.
Okay.
I am planning on. Well, right now I'm undergrad in architecture.
Got it.
So I want to get my architecture's license. So I'm gonna have to go to grad school in order to do that. But what I do with that, I'm not entirely sure. If I'm able to, get my hand in a few haunts, if I'm able to get my hand in with, I don't know, say Universal with some things, that would be a very cool thing.
I think that could happen for sure.
So did you because I was talking to your dad, and he said that you used something that you did for Halloween to get into architecture school. What was that?
It's probably because I put together a portfolio of some of the builds that I've done, and I've done set design for my high school as well. So that was part of it. But a lot of the builds that I've done, I used, and I think coming up right here, this mausoleum that I built, was one of the things that I put in there.
Yeah.
So it definitely, I think it helped me get into the architecture school with the builds.
And it would be very interesting to know if anybody else had ever used haunted house or home haunted stuff to get into architecture school. Like if they've we've never seen this before, we need this kid bad.
Yeah. I have no idea. I have not come across anyone who has done Halloween or liked Halloween as much as I have, my age at least. But yeah, I mean, they might be like, what the heck is this? And seeing the zombies, or they might love it. Who knows?
We're a special bunch, though. There's not everybody's going to get it. So.
But I think somebody at a college is going to look, like an admissions person would look at this and say, okay, I can look past the blood and guts. I can look at what he created. Hopefully, you might get that one person who's squeamish and it's like, no. Luckily you didn't. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the yard haunt, build. How many animatronics do you have on your property?
All right, let's see. So I have, the first one was the casket, and we did not build that. We bought that from the guy who sold it. But the second thing we built was the hangman. And then the third thing was the zombie cage that you see in the background right there. And we were inspired. I forget who did a YouTube video on it. I'm going to have to, I feel bad for forgetting, but
Becker?
He did a
Jason Becker.
If that's his name, I only know his YouTube channel.
It was
name.
Grave for the Groves.
I think so. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a similar prop. So I loved the look of that, and I wanted to add my own thing. So I built like a zombie research facility background type thing for it. But that was the third thing, and then the fourth thing was the demon that came out of the front door.
Oh yeah.
And the fifth thing was the swinging torso guy, and then now I have actually swinging torso, and then I added your good old hopping drum last year as well. And then this year, the seventh thing, right? Seven is the weeping angel. So we have 7 pneumatic props, and then we've used windshield wiper motor for like the zombie guy who's swinging around.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think. I think we're gonna build one of those just grave diggers, your good old grave diggers with windshield wiper motor. Nice. But I think that's all for the pneumatic props and animatronics.
And is this your front door?
It's in front of my front door. It's the front porch.
Okay.
So then this comes out of your front door then, or is the front door still behind him?
No, it comes out of the front door. It's sitting in the foyer, and we have curtains hanging from the ceiling.
How much do your parents love this? Do your parents love this?
My dad's the one who helps me set up, so he's always on board. My mom, we have to sometimes persuade her to do things. He was not a fan of the opening the front door and having something in there, but it eventually.
That's what made me ask, because I'm like, I'm not sure what I would tell my kids if they were like, listen.
That would have been the greatest dinner time conversation. So, Mom, we have this idea. Now, just hold on.
Hold on. Before you say no.
That never ends well.
Oh yeah.
My gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so, Andrew, are you like this haunt for HEP, which sorry, I can't remember what it stands for. It was just on the screen. How does that work? I see that's where we're at right now. How does that work as far as donations go?
Yes. So the Homeless Empowerment Program, that's HEP.
I love this. This is great.
Yes. So like I said earlier, we started doing this 4 years ago. And it's just a donate if you want. You don't have to pay to get in. But we did it because we wanted to raise money for them, and then, of course, raise awareness for them as well. But the reason we chose the Homeless Empowerment Program, partly because they had a campus 30 minutes away from us in Clearwater. But my church would help out with them. And then when I was younger, I helped out in the cafeteria, serving food one year. And then when it came around to wanting to put another level onto our haunt, making it more about this charity aspect than just the Halloween, we couldn't think of a better charity than the Homeless Empowerment Program. Now, what they do is they provide numerous services for the homeless, whether that's food, clothing, housing, medical, dental, job training, and just overall support services in order to get the homeless back on their feet and back into society and being self-sufficient. So we obviously agree with all of that, and they're non-profit. So we definitely support everything they're doing. So we thought this is a fantastic charity, and started raising money for them. The first year, I think we raised $2,000. And then the next year it got even bigger. We raised $3,000. And then just last year, even with COVID, we raised over $5,000.
Oh my God.
So upwards of $10,000 the past 3 years. And we're hoping to raise more than $5,000 this year. Fingers crossed.
Nice.
I love that the name of your haunt is Haunt for HEP, and it's not like Terror Walls. Of blah, blah,
Right,
blah.
right.
I love
And
that because everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
What they're doing there. So I think that's commendable for sure.
So you have these people bringing in money, whether it's online or on site, I'm assuming.
Yes.
How many people do you see go through your show, and how many nights are you available for people to see it? Is it a walkthrough? I'm assuming it is, or is this a display?
So it's part walkthrough, part display. We have obviously the driveway of our house and then walking up to the front porch. But we've added a couple pathways through the yard that people can go through, and there's different scaring opportunities. We're adding a new one this year, so I'm excited about that. But wait, what was the question again? I lost my train of thought.
Well, that's the fact that
how many attendees do you have?
That's right.
Yeah.
So last year we had around how many? It was a few thousand. I don't know the exact number, but we were getting a few thousand last year. Wow. So it's getting bigger and bigger every year, and we're doing it for 3 nights. We did it for 3 nights last year. Halloween was on a Saturday, so we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But this year, because Halloween's on a Sunday, we're doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the event starts around 6 and goes to either 10:30, 11, depending on the night, and depending on the amount of people. If there's a ton of people at 10:30, which usually there isn't, then we'll keep it open. But it's honestly, if you want to come through, you can park your car on the road. It's just my neighborhood, so it's just our house and then a bunch of other houses. But ours takes up the entire yard. It goes in the garage a little bit. You don't actually go in the garage, but the setup, like the zombie cage, is in the garage, and then obviously the front porch. So there is no actual walkthrough in terms of like an actual over the head haunted house, like you're inside. It's all outside, and that was kind of a advertising point for last year with COVID. You're outside, your social distance and whatnot. So hopefully we won't have to put up with that this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think you might be, I know there are some that do, where you walk through the yard. Most of them are walk by. When I was in Chicago, and a lot of theirs are walk by. You're walking along their sidewalk. You may walk up into their driveway and back down. But the fact that you walk through your yard as well, that is definitely a unique take on a walkthrough, and that's one of the reasons that you actually won the award for best walkthrough, is that you went the non-traditional route of that. It's not, you didn't build a big building and put a bunch of people in there through a maze. You had them walk through your yard, so you get that ambiance, you get the the feel. I know it's Florida, so it's not all crisp and cold in October, but
it is. Oh my goodness. It's the first night we did it last year, it was kind of cool out and the fog stayed low to the ground. That's another thing with being outside. You can never control the wind. It'll pick up fog, and one time you'll have it look great with all the fog, other time it's all up in the air. But that is a unique thing about our yard, is we have giant oak trees. So in a way it feels like you're in your own area. You don't feel like you're out in the open per se.
Right.
And the walkthroughs through the yard, you can kind of see one of the oak trees right there.
Yeah.
You go underneath the canopy, so you feel like you're inside of your own world.
Yeah.
But you're still outside. And I think just with all these trees, we have a ton of cypress trees as well. So we're really lucky with these already natural lighting posts.
Right.
And whatnot, to just natural features that helps with our.
So on a technical aspect of this, like I'm looking at this going, oh my God, all of these pneumatics, all of these, moving parts. How many people do you have like helping you with this? Like before you set up and then like the night of? I mean, it can't just be just you and your dad. Or if it is, then every haunt in the United States is going to be looking for that duo to come to their haunt because
Right.
Well,
a lot of
it is pretty much just me and my dad that sets up everything. And this year we built I'm building a church right now that's over 20 feet tall. So we enlisted my grandfather to come help us place up the steeple, as you do. But it's mostly just us two. And because I'm going away for college this fall, it's going to be even harder to set up because I'm only going to be able to come home every weekend throughout the month of October. But
how
luckily,
far are you from school, like from home?
It's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's UF, Florida, go Gators.
That's right.
But our neighbors have actually offered to help set up, which is very nice of them. So
that's awesome.
We're very lucky to. There's my puppy. we're very lucky to have neighbors that support what we do.
Now, also, your father told me earlier today that he doesn't really help anymore. He holds the flashlight. That is his job now. You have pretty much taken over everything, and he's there to when it's 1 a.m. in the morning and you lost a screw out there that you need for that one last bit. He's there.
In terms of the building, it's pretty much me. If I need help with holding something, or of course cleaning up, holding a flashlight, I do enlist his help.
Now, who helps you clean up everything?
Oh, during after the event?
Afterwards.
It's usually still me and my dad, but the rest of my family will help out as well.
Oh, that's good. See, now that's the opposite. Most haunters cannot find anybody for the life of them to help them tear down.
My family's incentive is don't kill the grass any more than you already have.
Oh, well,
yes. It's in our yard, so
yes,
yeah. But in terms of once it's set up and actually running it, usually it's me and my dad running around and making sure everything is working. Having the number of pneumatic props that we have, there's always something that will go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we've had the power go out, trip breakers and joints of different pneumatic props break. But that's to be expected, and that's why we're running around making sure that it's all working. But we have actually, in the past 2 years now, we've enlisted more help from local students. So from my old high school with the theater program. So we're starting to get more scare acting in order to merge the pneumatic and animatronic stuff with actual human actors, and you don't have to worry about a human actor breaking other than maybe falling down or tripping and hurting themselves. We had that happen last year. And them getting tired. A pneumatic thing doesn't get tired.
True.
But we've provided them with pizza and snacks and water and everything. And they also get, because we're doing it for a charity, Florida has Bright Futures Hours, which is a scholarship that they do for students when they take like the SAT and ACT. They can get the Bright Future Scholarship, and they need a certain number of hours in order to qualify for it. So because we're doing it for the Homeless Empowerment Program, we can also sign off for hours. So that's another incentive for them to come help out with it as well.
So you got this thing figured out at 19 years old. I see.
I know.
He's got all the angles, pun intended. See,
I'm thinking the same thing.
Right?
We are trying this year, because I'm going to be away and not overseeing quite everything. We are trying to become a little more scheduled with our scare acting, so we don't worry about who's showing up tonight. Trying to, even though there will definitely be people who don't show up. But we will try to
welcome to
that
Smithy's
down.
world.
What?
Oh, you say my garage is organized? Oh my God, you should. I should show you a photo of it. Just the tool bench is a nightmare.
I just cleaned my garage yesterday, and I've already got 15 things on the workbench that were not there yesterday. I don't know how they got there, but they're there.
I don't know either.
It's crazy.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery. It's
almost
always a mess.
I can almost guarantee you the stapler is still missing. Where's everybody see the stapler?
No, that I've got one. It's
There
right
you
here
go.
on the all my main haunt tools are right in front of me on my desk right here. But the rest of that stuff, I don't. There's some wood glue. I know that's good, but
yeah, my Troy loses everything. He loses
I do.
everything. He does. No, it must be a Troy thing. This year for Christmas, I bought him the tiles for his wallet, and I bought him a little tile for his keys so that he could like ding them when he loses them. But like, I don't have enough money to buy him a tile for everything he loses because he loses everything.
I should buy that. I should buy those.
They've come in.
I can put it on my drill.
Yeah,
the drill. Yeah, drill and this tool. This is my favorite tool. So I need one on this one so that I.
Is that a cheese grater?
Yeah, it's the Sure Foam shaver. So, but yeah,
I need to get myself one of those right now. I've
Depot.
resorted
They're like $5 at Home Depot.
Really, I've resorted to wire brushes and of course the Dremel.
Yeah. I love my Dremel. This works really good on the white foam, and it does good on the pink foam, but it really makes the white foam super textured.
You can also use that to distress costumes too. I've used that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did that for Texas Haunters Convention when I ripped holes in my shorts. That's another story for another night.
Yes,
it was a shitty outcome.
So I have a question for. We're running out of time, but I want to ask. I have so many questions.
I know.
The facades that you make.
Yes.
Like, do you? Obviously, you draw inspiration from pictures. Where do you come up with dimensions? Do you just figure it out? Like, you draw everything out. Obviously, you're wicked good at it. But like, how do you come up with like what you need to do and what you're using? And like, I can't wrap my head around. Like, I've tried what you've tried, and I don't put anything down. I just see something in my head, and then I try and build it, and then it sucks, and I just never talk about it again. Like, how do you come up with like how all this stuff goes together? Like, and
he's an architect. I don't know.
Yeah, he's an architect.
But that's what he has that we don't have is that architectural brain.
It's all about angles, Dan. All about angles.
I would say, yeah, I've always had that artistic part of me that kind of like knows how things are made.
Is there a lot of trial and error, or is this just you try it once and you figure it out before you actually build it, or do you build them like shit that didn't work?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I would say I have definitely learned how to build things over the years.
Yeah.
And some of the like the set design that I did in my high school has taught me a lot about like the flats and just general like set building that you can really use for Halloween. But in terms of actually coming up with measurements and dimensions for this church specifically, I brainstormed about it since last November, and I gathered pictures and whatnot, and then drew a few sketches of it. But then when I actually sat down to design it and come up with the measurements, I used my trusty architectural scale and drew it to scale so that I know what the proportions are on paper, so that I can then take that and use it for the materials that I need to buy, and just overall dimensions for that. But I will say, even though I did draw it to scale on paper, it was a lot smaller on paper, and ended up being very tall once it was built, even though I should know that over 20 feet is extremely tall. But yeah, when I design, I have a plan in mind, and I have an idea of what I need to go buy and get in order to build it. But along the way, I'll make like 5 different Home Depot trips in order to eventually get the materials that I need to finish it and build it. So it's a combination of knowing what I need to get in the beginning and then figuring out things along the way and finishing the project.
So I have a 2-part thing. That was obviously your door from your bedroom when you were a kid, right?
Yes, and I was just talking about that in the video. I'm keeping the stickers on there.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure. You have to.
Yes.
That's part of it.
And,
That's part of it.
Just for memory's sake. And it opens inwards, so no one's ever going to see it.
See the Mickey Mouse on the other side.
But we all now know, so that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing is, I was made fun of at the Texas Haunters Convention when I was walking around with my video camera, and I just saw in your shadow that you're using one of these too. So, people who made fun of me, Andrew uses a regular video camera too.
I'm sorry to break it to you. I use my phone.
Damn it! I'm the only one left. So cool, though.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Mine has Wi-Fi though. Oh wait, so does yours now. Damn it.
Sorry.
Oh man,
that's awesome.
I thought we were friends, Andrew.
That is awesome.
So besides the church, and you already made the super lifelike Weeping Angel, is there anything else you're going to build this year?
No, I don't think so. Other than finishing up the area for, you can see this is where the church is going to be. We're going to have a pathway that goes in front of it, and we may extend some of the existing fence, and we may rope off certain sections. But other than that, I don't think I'll have time to build anything because I'm going back to class in the middle of August. Right. So I'm really wrapping it up now and trying to get things squared away.
Right.
Before we wrap it up here, I have one more question. Where do you store all of this? And does
that is always the question. I don't even know.
Does this church break down to a point where you can like put it somewhere, or is it
flatten it out?
A whole lot of angles that you just have to try and guess to put it back together? Like when you build this, it's built. It looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
November 1st, you've got to take this thing apart.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to take it apart and like organize it so that it's easier for you to put together the following season or the next season?
Yes. So to answer that question, for the church and for a lot of the other things that I build, they come apart into individual smaller sections like this, and they're not wider than the 3.5 inches, the 1x4s. So they can be stored next to each other, even though they're 4 foot by 8 foot wide. They still can be stored next to each other and not take up too much space. So that's how we really minimize the amount of space. And they're called flats for a reason because they're pretty much flat.
Yeah.
There's nothing behind them.
You have a little theater background too.
Then. Yeah. I heard the theater buzzword there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this kind of theater.
This is like the IKEA version of like a home haunter's dream here,
right?
Except, yeah.
Anyway, go on, Andrew. Sorry for interrupting.
No worries. Yeah, when I'm actually designing it, I have to really think about how are we going to store it? Because if we can't store it, then there's really no purpose of building it. But that's one of the main things is figuring out how each section goes together, and then is this section too big? Can we actually store this? But in terms of storage, some of it is in the garage itself, like a lot of our pneumatic stuff that has like the latex faces and can't go in the shed where they would melt off because it gets too hot. But the rest of the structures like this, we have a couple sheds in the back. And I think we're going to have to replace our first small shed and get a larger one. But it's about time because it's pretty much done for. It's falling apart. But we do have a couple sheds that we stored in.
When are the neighbors going to let you use their yard?
It's funny you say that because this church is actually on part of the neighbor's property. but
Right.
it's just the shape of our yards that it kind of it still looks like our property. But
Right.
if you looked at the property line, it's half of it's on theirs. But as long as we don't kill their grass, I don't think they would have a problem with it. They're very supportive of what we do.
So there's no neighbors in your neighborhood that are like, oh, it's August again. He's setting up.
No, fortunately, no.
That's awesome.
There is no neighbors that do that. Yeah, fortunately, we
Pretty
have
much at
very
this
good
point-
supportive neighbors.
At this point, everybody in the haunt industry hates you, but also is in super awe of you. So you have that going for you. Nate is going to be a new subscriber, so that's going to be great. Robert said you use square head dry roll screws. He saw that in your video, I guess.
It's for some reason I have only resorted to the drywall screws, and part of that's because when I did it in the high school for set design, that's what they had.
Yep.
So I'm used to just using that for all my construction, wood construction.
I would personally like to answer this one, Johnny. It's called a donation. It's a brand new type of cream. It's spelled DON and the rest of the word, and you give them money, and then it just goes away. It's fantastic. So go ahead and do that, and it'll clear it right up.
And I know we were running long on this. I have to ask you, Andrew, the steeple that you're putting up on this church, how heavy is it, and how are you lifting it on there? Is it enough that 2 or 3 guys can lift it up on some ladders?
If you skip ahead a bit, you'll see it on top of the church, but I can lift it up with one hand, and that's because it's only made out of 1x2s and foam, but it's also 15 feet up in the air, so it's very awkward holding it while on a ladder and trying to position it. So in order to get it up there, we have used a couple ropes and basically pull it up there upside down, and then use another one and then pivot it into place.
So I'm going to give you a little hint.
Mm-hmm.
Rent scaffolding.
I
did it for my facade that I put up a couple years ago, and because I had 2 flats, one on top the other, and I did one with a ladder, and it fell on me, and I fell off the ladder, and it was terrible. Don't ever tell my wife that it happened. And then I went out the next day and rented scaffolding. And it had wheels, and it was, oh man, it was awesome. But wheels don't really work real great on grass. But but yeah.
We've thought about renting a cherry picker, but they're actually pretty expensive.
I was going to say that, but
yeah,
they can be.
But scaffolding, you can get ones that are like 4 or 5 feet tall, and then you can put a step ladder on that too. Because they have a platform on there. But
surely somebody can donate a cherry picker for an hour, right?
Right,
yeah, probably.
Charity. It's for charity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fortunately, we figured out a way to get it up there, but my dad has told me we're not building anything as tall as this ever again.
That's how it always goes. You build one that's awesome like that, and they're like, never again.
Yeah, I should have listened to him when he said, this is 20 feet tall. Can you please make it a little shorter?
No, it'll be great. Watch, Dad, watch.
Yeah, I have an idea. I have a plan. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
So in the meantime, so everybody, I know people have already started to subscribe, but this is what the Facebook page or the YouTube. It's Andrew Long, so super easy to do. Pick the one with the Nosferatu and the mausoleum behind there. Don't pick another Andrew Long.
If you look up Andrew Long Halloween, it should hopefully come up.
Yep. And as I clear out my messages here, this is his Facebook page. So it's at Haunt for HEP, or you can type in Haunt for HEP, and you'll come up with that. And if you're in the Palm Harbor, Florida area this October, you have no other choice but to go to this haunted house. And please bring some cash as well.
Yes, please.
Yeah, how do people donate? Like, is there an off season for donating? Like, if Inside the Haunted History or Haunt Collective wanted to donate to you guys, how does that work?
So you just clicked on the HEP page. You can donate through HEP. but I believe that our Facebook should have a donate button on there. If not, we do start a online donation through the month of September and October.
You do right here.
Yeah.
So you have a link to it, and it just it brings up the same
okay.
thing. So,
okay. Yeah. So if you like leave a comment and say it's for HEP, we've already got a few donations for this year. So
nice.
Feel free.
Absolutely.
Johnny, this is where you do that.
Yeah. This is
Haunt scene.
Your cream. This is your cream.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you, Andrew, so much for coming on tonight and showing us your event, your show. I wish you so many more years of scaring people with your knowledge of being awesome and everything.
Yes.
I think I was playing video games at your age, and not building haunted houses. So being awesome. I can't wait to see what you do next 10, 15, 20 years. And hopefully it's bigger and better in the haunted industry. If not, I mean, you're going to be successful wherever you go. So thank you so much for coming on. Yep. We look forward to seeing the show in October, whether it be on YouTube or live.
Oh yeah. I forgot to say, these are going out to him tonight. Look at this. the actual awards. Best walkthrough haunt and best pneumatic prop. I know my camera's not that great to show the detail, but yeah. So these are on their way to Florida to him tomorrow, and from me and Christopher and the rest of the Home Haunter Award Show crew, we want to congratulate you on that, on winning those. I know you were nominated the first year we had our thing, I believe, for the guy coming out of the front door, I believe.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the new rule is, and this kind of inside so far, is that you can't win for either of these next year. You have to enter for something else.
I may have to wait to enter in the Weeping Angel.
There you go.
Facade? Can he win best facade?
That would be a static prop, or he could enter that as part of the display haunt, I guess, too. But chances are it would do better as a static prop. But also,
not that Troy's telling you what to do and how to.
Well, we're actually planning on the church being the static prop. We were gonna.
I am a judge and all, and I do accept PayPal.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna make a nomination and just send it to you because.
Right. But we are announcing new categories in the next couple. We're gonna have, I believe, 2 new categories this year, so watch out for those. But yes, so congrats again. And Dan normally asks me who's up next week, so I'll just skip right to that.
Troy, who's up next week?
What? That's so great you asked me. That's so awesome. Next week is Eric Roberts, and he created an at-home dark ride.
Oh my God.
In his garage, and it goes around in the garage, and they use a 360 camera on YouTube that you get to watch the thing. You get to move the camera while you're on YouTube to see the whole ride as you're going through it.
I feel like every time you come out with somebody like Andrew here, I feel more stupid. Because my show has never looked as good as what's up in the yard. Now you're telling me we're going to see a dark ride.
I know. I pick these people specifically. I'm picking people that are supposed to inspire you, Dan. But
it's making me feel inadequate. I'm not going to.
I agree.
Whatever gets you building, Dan, is what I'm going for.
Yeah. And we've got I don't want to call you a kid, but a young adult. A young adult that has made a facade that is like rivals like top 10 haunted attractions. Like,
yeah, right.
I had a comment on the church video that I just uploaded a few hours ago, and the first comment I got was, "You inspired me to start building," and my response was, "Get building. You should definitely build. It's fun."
My comment is, "You've inspired me to stop building." No, I'm kidding. But if this is the future, then we're like, this is going to be amazing.
Just,
The haunted
just think about
mysteries.
it, Susie, Troy. When we were like Andrew's age, we were going through haunted houses with black plastic and spaghetti. Put your hands in spaghetti with peeled grapes. You know, like
Yeah.
it's such an evolution. I just absolutely love to see what people are doing at 18, 19 versus what we were doing at 18, 19. Like it's evolved so much. It's
I am legally not able to talk about what I did when I was 18 and 19, so we can probably just he's doing it right. He's going to college, guys.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Next week we will
We're gonna go riding on a dark ride.
We're gonna go on a dark ride.
Yeah, we're gonna go dark ride.